All right, we're going to go ahead and get things started here, and we're going to go ahead and open back up Senate Bill 180, which is where we were at the last time we were here in the committee, and we have a similar amendment. So the amendment will be striking all of the whereases on page 1. Do you have copies for everybody, Scott? What? Okay, while we're waiting for Scott to do that, I believe Representative Hoskins has a point of personal privilege.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I would like to introduce my page, Eric Vosick, if you would stand up real quick. He's a junior at Shawnee Mission South High School, and he's had an eventful day with a meeting at the rail, watching floor debate, and we're delighted that he's here. Thank you.
Well, welcome to the Capitol, and welcome to the Health and Human Services Committee. Okay, so we had the striking the whereases on page 1. Then on page 2, it will be on line item 9, after unequal, it will say and. Add a number 7, an individual born with a medically verified diagnosis of, quote, disorder/differences in sex development, unquote, shall be provided legal protections and accommodations afforded under the Americans with Disabilities Act and applicable Kansas statutes. Is there a second on my motion? Seconded by Representative Epley. Comments, discussion on the motion? Representative Bryce.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think when I first saw the amendment, and I had some hesitation because I wanted to really debate that. I wanted to see all the details of it. I think this update in the amendment totally meets all my expectations. I really want to be sure that we don't marginalize people. There's a very, very small percentage of people who are sort of in the cracks of the bimodal distribution, and we don't want to marginalize them anymore. And I think this amendment makes it very clear that we're showing them the respect they deserve, and so I'm supportive of the amendment.
Thank you. Further questions or comments? Representative Reese.
Does disorder/differences in sex development meet the ADA requirements for disabilities?
It's my understanding, Representative, that a majority of these individuals would actually have the loss of some body functions, which would make them qualified for the ADA, yes.
Well, from what I've been looking at, they don't. And many are feel it upsets many people that are born with these disorder or with the differences in sex development as insulted. That's the word I was looking for. They feel insulted being said that they have a disability simply because they're born with differences in sex development.
Well, as I said, I think the issue comes down to, in the ADA Act, it deals with the loss of different body functions, and I think that's where we're at on this. Representative Epley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't think there's a perfect answer for your concern. I think there was a concern both ways that they would be afforded safety and privacy and vice versa. And this is the best solution that we can come up with in the world we live in today, given what we have. And that's why I support the amendment as it's been redrafted. Thank you.
Representative Reese.
I don't support the amendment. I just don't see how having a whole group of people being told that they're disabled and when they're not. And I really don't want to insult them in that way, so I would be voting no on this amendment.
Well, and I understand that, but like I said, they qualify for the ADA when they had the loss of body functions, And so it's not like all, it's only those that have that. Are there further questions or comments? Representative Berquist?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The concerns I had in the last meeting for the amendment and now the revision and good counsel I got from good experts, I appreciate it, and I will support the amendment and the bill.
Representative Hoskins?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Because I'm a substitute today and wasn't here for previous discussion, can you give me an example of what kind of accommodation would be required for individuals with this disorder?
Representative Epley?
Well, in circumstances such as this, they would be afforded their own private area to change and or use the restroom facilities.
Committee, further questions? Representative Orpesa?
Can you please clarify the loss of functions?
Representative Epley?
Might I comment, Madam Chair?
I'll defer to Dr. Clifford.
Representative Clifford?
For example, Turner syndrome is very specifically cited as a disability. These individuals are generally viewed as women in our society, and the ones I've met by themselves. They have a very webbed neck, which is a hallmark of the syndrome, and reproductive limits. They may also have genitourinary abnormalities, and a person in that state, I don't think would want to undress in front of even fellow females. I won't speak that privately for them, but they would be accorded disability status.
Representative Orpesa?
Thank you. I was thinking about your answer. Thank you, Representative Clifford. I appreciate that. So in stating in that, any person, human being who had infertility issues, whether they be male or female, would that be considered loss of function? Are we very specific of a genetic disorder like Turner syndrome?
It's specific to the genetic disorders. It wouldn't be because a person is unable to produce.
Okay, thank you.
Representative Haswood?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Do we know medically accurately that these disabilities are at birth? Do they always come up at birth, or are they developed prior to birth? Are we fitting within that ADA definition of that?
Representative Epley?
Well, again, this is a spectral diagnosis. I mean, some folks are not manifest until they go through puberty. That's typically when a lot of these folks come to the realization that they have an issue, and they will have to get an amended then certificate or whatever they want to do, and that would afford them the issues that we outline here. A big, I can't give you a percentage. A large percentage are known at birth, but a large percentage are not, and they only become manifest as hormone levels change as they grow and develop. Particularly, sometimes people with Turner syndrome I've seen grow up as they're said to be girls, and then basically later on they're said to not be girls. So what do you do with that? And then Klinefelter's is another one. Klinefelter's has a lot of orthopedic issues and or brain issues, and not all Klinefelters, but some. And some of them are men and some of them are women, and it becomes very confusing. And I think it's just to afford them privacy and safety as we look at this bill, and that's why I wanted that inserted in there as an amendment.
Thank you.
Further questions or comments on the amendment? All right. Representative Reese? For the third time.
But who's counting? Even, with this amendment, how is this going to be enforced? I've never really figured out how any of this is going to be enforced.
Well, actually, some of it's kind of done, today. It's like I was visiting with some schools, and, many times they'll afford these individuals the opportunity to use the faculty, lounge restroom or even the dressing rooms there. And in places that don't have somewhere separate, someone may stand outside the door to allow them that, privacy. So they don't have to necessarily intermingle with individuals they would feel uncomfortable with. Further questions or comments on the amendment? All right, seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. No. Ayes appear to have it. Ayes do have it. Motion carries. Back on the bill. Representative Epley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to move that we pass out Senate Bill number 180, amended.
As amended.
As amended to the floor.
Is there a second? Seconded by Representative Bryce. Discussion, comments on the bill. All right, seeing none, all those in favor signify. Oh, Representative Carpenter.
Sorry, Madam Chair.
Oh,
but-
another fill-in.
Yeah, another fill-in. Thank you, Madam Chair. Sorry, just to make sure, I didn't hear if we were supposed to pass out this favorably or if he could finish the rest of the motion.
Favorably.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, further discussion, comments on the bill. Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Ayes appear to.
No.
Ayes appear to have it. Okay, just give me a minute. Let me finish my motion. Ayes appear to have it. Ayes do have it. Motion carries. Are there those that would like to be recorded with their vote? Okay, Representative Vaughn, no. Hasswood, no. Reese, no. Poskins, no. Orpeza, no. Anyone else wish to have their vote recorded? All right, seeing none. All right, committee, that concludes our business today, and I believe we're on at 1:30 on Monday, so we're adjourned till 1:30 Monday.